budget fam, welcome to the Anonymous Budgeter. If this is your first time here, welcome and thank you for watching this video. And if you are a returning subby, thank you for coming by again. Here on my channel, I'm documenting my debt-free journey towards paying off over $160,000 in student loans. I'm also sharing a lot about my personal finance, my financial goals, and my road to financial independence. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you're also on a debt-free journey and would like to just kind of have a little bit of motivation and just somebody who's also in that journey of paying off debt, please consider subscribing to my channel and also turning on your notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. So without further ado, today I'm going to be doing my budget for paycheck number 1. We're going to be breaking that down because the new month has started for May, and so let's get into that. Alright guys, so as always, I have my little budget worksheets. This basically just helps me to kind of keep track of what I need to, focus on in regards to like my paycheck breakdown. So for this month of May, I already did my monthly budget breakdown and kind of allocated all my bills and what paycheck is going to cover which bill, and also kind of break down or have a strategy for how I'm going to pay down in my student loans. And I also usually do like a rollover budget. I filmed this, but for my rollover it was really quite simple, nothing really crazy. I just had 2 payments that really came out that were bills. This charge for family was actually supposed to be for the month of April, but it kind of rolled over into May because I did not pay it. That one I actually have to manually pay it. So typically most of my bills are auto pay, which I absolutely love because I always forget to pay something and I can't imagine not having auto pay. So I really just like having my bills on automatic payment so I don't have to worry about forgetting a payment and then having late charges. So yeah, so that's that was that charge. And then yeah, so for the beginning of the month I had a rollover of $307. Like that's the day before I got paid, which was last Friday. When I started the month, I started with $445.67, and that was the amount that I closed for the month of April. So that was my beginning balance for the month of May. And so now that I have gotten paid on the 3rd, as I mentioned, my beginning balance was $307.88. And so we're just gonna do a breakdown of everything, of all the bills. So yesterday, which was the 6th, I started working on this, but then I kind of got tired, so I didn't finish it, and I was like, ooh, I need to film this because I totally forgot to turn the camera on while I was doing that. And so I kind of did a little estimated budget, but it's gonna be completely different because today I was talking with one of my friends, well, a colleague of mine, and I'm typically very much like, I don't really get involved in like work things. I just keep to myself. But I don't know, I've kind of been in the mindset like I kind of want to, like kind of go out, like be girly, and because when you're paying off debt. Sorry, I just wanted to set this up. So as I was saying, I've kind of been in a mindset that I want to enjoy the little things more. Not saying that I want to spend a ton of money doing extra things, but I just kind of want to like live in the moment and kind of just like make memories with friends and family. So some of my coworkers want to kind of like go out on Friday and then have some dinner. So I really want to go to that restaurant because I haven't been there before, and so I really had to kind of switch up my budget a little bit, well, a lot bit. So we'll talk about that. And as always, I have my little cheat sheet so we're going to be working off of that. But that's why I like budgeting, because even though you make a budget, that doesn't mean that like you can't change it. It's not something that's like hard pressed and locked in. So I'm going to work on just filling out all the remaining stuff with you guys on camera. For rollover, as we mentioned, I had $307.88. My actual income for the first paycheck was actually $3,198.27. So the total for the income that I have for the month of May that we're working with is $3,500. $506.15. Now I may have some savings that I may have to transfer into my checking account, because I know in a couple of days my Progressive bill is coming due, and I usually pay that biannually, so twice a year, and I believe the charge is going to be like $1,000, maybe like 1,100. So I might have to take some money off of my savings, but we're not gonna worry about that. So I'll just put that as 0, and then when I actually do the transfer, we'll focus on that, because that's coming from savings, so I'm not worried about that. Now I started filling out my budget sheet, and I know some of the actual charges that I have. So for rent, for example, I actually did spend $750. If you guys are new around here and you're just checking out my videos, the reason why my rent is very affordable and cheap is because I now stay at home with my family, with my parents, so the rent is gonna be very affordable. My Apple has not come out, neither has some of my subscriptions. My Metro PCS is definitely going to be $110, but that has not cleared, so I'm not going to put that in there. One thing that I may not take out now until maybe my third or second paycheck is my Progressive, and that's also because, like I mentioned, I am going out with friends, so I kind of have to move some money around. So I don't think for this paycheck I'm going to be taking out the money for my Progressive, but we'll see. I'll still keep it how it is. And then for my Care Pass I have $5, but I actually paid it for the year, which I never realized I could do that for the entire year. So, and I do save, I think, like $12, so it was a no-brainer for me. I went ahead and I paid the $48 up front, so that's why instead of being billed $5, I'm being billed $48. And then for my Apple Music, I'm waiting for that bill to clear. I also put that one for an annual, paid annually, because I was paying about like $12, $13, but I think if you paid annually, you end up spending like $9. And shout out to Live Without Loans on Instagram, because she did mention that while she was going through like one of her budgets, and I was like, wow, we can pay that for the annual subscription, and she mentioned that yes, we can. Next bill that I have is my surety. That has not cleared. I don't know if I can pay that off for the year. Maybe I should call them and see if it saves me some money then. All right guys, so I'm coming at you guys again because my phone paused, and so I lost some of the footage where I was doing all of these budget breakdowns. So essentially, let me just give you guys a real quick recap, so then we can just close out this paycheck number 1 budget. So after everything was said and done, I just did the budgeted amounts. So like I mentioned previously, I went to the bank today and I did take out everything that has a little envelope symbol right there, and those have already been accounted for. Now for my 52-week envelope, I was going to put the full amount, which was $159, but I decided to only give myself $53 because again, I did include an extra $300 in eating out because I have a little social thing with my coworkers on Friday. So I know I'm going to be spending some extra money, and some of my colleagues who, you know, they're still in high school, well, not high school, they're still in college and they're students. I do want to cover them for their food and drinks, so that's why I kind of have an extra $300, which is a lot, and I probably won't spend all of that, to be honest. Well, maybe I won't, but like I said, I kind of want to cover, well, not kind of, I want to cover my colleagues. So worst case scenario, I end up spending everything, but I had to pull some money from other categories. And in regards to my Progressive, this $190 is typically an envelope, but I did not take out the money this time because well, I kind of forgot, to be honest, but I'm actually glad that I did, because worst case scenario, if my Mint Mobile bill comes out within the time frame of my paycheck number 1, that $190 can help to cover it, because it's going to be about $180, and I don't know if they're going to put taxes and fees, which usually they do. So I'll definitely have a cushion to cover for that. And then worst case, I just pull that $190 in paycheck number 2, and that will cover that. And I also, like I mentioned, my biannual fee for my progressive is coming due, but that's going to be paid with my savings, so I'm not too worried about that. And in regards to my nail net, I did budget $450 for it, but I don't think I'm going to be paying anything extra towards my nail net for this paycheck number one, because I actually want to put $700 into my savings for my June expenses, because again, I do get paid 3 times for the month of May, so that means that my first paycheck in June is not going to be until like June 14th or 15th, and I do want to set aside about $1,400 to cover, like, it's basically going to be these expenses. So yeah, so after I did all of that, and I did all the calculations when I totaled all my bills, totaled all my variables. I took the money out from my nail net. I did have $108.60 set aside, but I'm gonna keep that cushion because, like I mentioned, for June, I do want to put some money aside for those expenses coming up, but I don't know, I have to see how my money shakes. So I'll probably do that on Friday or Saturday. Well, Saturday. I will see how everything works out on Friday. If I do end up using the entire $300 for eating out, or $315, then I may have to reduce that $700, but I do definitely want to put something aside for the June expenses. And then I did do a breakdown of my cash envelopes. So I did groceries was $150, personal got $50, my eating out got $315, water got $40, my FPL got $50, BJ's got $50. Initially I had $40, but I actually budgeted $50, and then my 52-week savings challenge got $53, and that totaled to $708. And I actually took that money out from the bank today, so stay tuned for cash stuffing. And so with my budget amount, I budgeted $3,000, but in actuality, my actual is probably going to be a little bit higher than $3,506, because I will have to transfer money from my savings to pay for my progressive. But at the end, I'll, when I close out paycheck number one, I'll know what that actual number is. And then for my expenses, which is going to be for my bills and my variables, when I added both categories up, I got $2,291. And then my auto savings was just $150. And then my total debts, which I initially wanted to put $450 aside. So when I added all of that up, my final balance when I took out all these expenses would be $108, and I'm gonna keep that money in my account. But like I mentioned, I changed some things around last minute, so I'm very aware of kind of what's going on. So in the back of my mind, I'm just keeping an eye out for this June extra payment that I want to make. So by Saturday, the weekend, when I've done all the socializing, I'll see how much I can actually put into that savings for my June expenses. And by then, all these should already be cleared out. So it'll make it a lot easier for me to kind of see what all I have left in my checking account. So I know this was a little bit complicated, but hopefully that's helpful. It's kind of like a real life budget, honestly. Sometimes you have to change things and move things around because things come up last minute. And I really do want to, kind of hang out with my coworkers, especially because things are going to be changing in our district. And so it will be super fun. And I think a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, we did a work social, and it was so much fun, and I had a really great time. So we kind of just want to treat our coworkers, who I mentioned, or they're kind of younger, just in college, and so it would be nice to kind of catch up and hang out. And sometimes during this budget or debt-free journey, we can be super focused and hyper focused on paying off debt, which is really good. But one of my friends is she's pregnant with her first baby. She's not having an in-person baby shower because she lives in a whole other state. And so we're kind of like making, like a PowerPoint thing for her where we're just, wishing them well. And it just got me so nostalgic looking back at pictures of us together when we were like in grad school, because that's where I met her. And it's just like, like the memories, you just can't get those back. So it just makes me want to more kind of like live in the moment. Yes, I have to pay off debt and I want to be very intentional and go hard on that, but also to take time to spend with people whom I love and whom I care about. So yeah, that's why I definitely want to do it. And usually when my spirit is kind of like that, I'm always just like, you know what, let me just go, because I'm never, that is kind of like, you're not going to get those moments back. Yeah, you'll have other opportunities, but like, I feel very, very much like comfortable and okay with going, and it's within my budget. So, probably spending an extra $200 is not gonna hurt me. So we'll see when I give you guys the update of my paycheck one closeout, or how I did for my weekly check-in. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a messy ramble, and I will catch you guys back in another video, which is most likely going to be my cash stuffing. So thank you for watching. Bye, guys.